Thing that would forever change Stanley.
So yeah, this is Stanley Parable.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Ooh, the mouse sensitivity. Yeah, this is Stanley Parable. I really like this game. If you have ever played oh wow, the mouse sensitivity is so low. But if you've ever played the original, which was a Gmod map, that really it's basically the same story. They expanded upon it, they made it a full thing. So if you feel like you're looking at a Half-Life game sometimes, it's probably why. Yeah, this game was just, I really like this story. Pretty much it's you have a million billion combinations of ending, doing story, all this sort of stuff. You have to live out your life as Stanley, who no longer can push the button. There's no orders to push a button for, so you sit and you wait if you want. I mean, that's what you can do as Stanley. If you haven't got orders, what do? Do you just wait in the office? Or do we go outside into the office itself? The scary office. Yeah, this is a narrative sort of game. It's kind of got puzzle elements. If I did wait in there, so there's heaps and heaps of different ways to do this. I believe there's one for like if you wait in that room for like 10-15 minutes or something, you'll get an ending. But yeah.
Gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I don't think I can zoom in on anything, so what we see is what we get. Apparently there's no outside world, it's just white void. Most doors seem to be locked. Yeah, so I've already done all of the endings before in this game. I love Stanley. I've replayed it multiple times. Oh, I turned off someone's computer. Can I turn off everyone's computer? I can just turn off people's computers.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
You'll notice the game is actually referring to the actions I'm doing. It's not... Oh. Someone escaped into the roof. Oh. Someone left their coffee mug. I hate Mondays. I know. Where's Monday's cat? Where's Garfield? So this is actually a fun game to do no-clip stuff into. Whoa.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
So, we can either follow the narration of the person, or we can do it on our own. What do we want to do? Do we want to break the rules, or follow the rules? Let's follow the rules for now.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Yeah, it has a very particular set of humor. Like, yeah, I really like this game. I think it's not in your face. It's just really funny.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Yeah, it encourages you to rule break.
There was nothing here, No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No
But-
reason to still be here.
The narrator will get annoyed with us if we do particular actions, so...
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Stanley in a broom closet.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet...
But yeah, if you are a fan of Hitchhiker's Guide, it's very much that sort of similar nature of narration. I love this guy's voice. I think that the jokes just... It's very, very, very... I almost said Dirk Gently. Douglas Adams feeling.
Did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite. I hope your friends find this concerning.
We got the broom closet ending, guys. We hung around in the broom closet.
Really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yeah, he's just insulting us.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Oh, we're dead, guys.
Broom closet, explored it a bit, and we're just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Oh.
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
The handy thing about streaming is if I died on stream, at least you guys would know.
This computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand...
I can hear that there's some clipping of the audio sometimes while it's prepping the next one.
...on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Man, I hope you enjoyed. So this has been a broom closet stream. We're just gonna hang out in the broom closet for half an hour. As soon as he sort of stops talking for enough time, I'm just gonna leave. But anyway, so this is the type of game. It's like you can just push the narrator's buttons. You can explore. It's sort of, it is a walking sim at the heart of the days.
Good to have you on board. Guarantee coming to a staircase. Stanley walked up.
That's the problem. Walking through triggers it sometimes. Oh, what's down here?
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Why is there a car? How did they get this car in here?
Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy,
I kind of have to feel like I have to stand still.
all because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy.
I kind of feel like I need to stand still sometimes because I'm making him talk over himself when I walk through triggers.
Maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh,
Why did doors
I didn't notice that.
automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last,
This is all too strange.
that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I
I had to actually talk over because there's just so much narration that I'm having to just listen to the narrator.
So he imagined himself flying and began
Oh.
to gently float off the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
Oh.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing me.
Oh, it's so wonderfully Douglas Adams.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
Oh, here we go.
This was a dream.
I'm being given back control.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited
Oh, whoa.
himself to wake
Maybe
up.
not. I'm going to sleep now.
Weighted the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Oh, we chose one of the narrative endings. So... Oh, we're still here. Oh, okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed.
Oh, this is one of the original endings. I actually remember this.
For just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was
Yeah.
crazy.
Because yeah, this game is way more expanded than the mod ever was. The mod got quite a lot of content added to it, but then this full game,
Was to be normal.
yeah.
I'm saying I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
There we go. That's A ending for Stanley Parable. So I might do it. Whoa. Oh, that's different. So, yeah. That's an ending for Stanley. There's multiple different types of endings, so how about we do one and try and get to the buttons. So
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
you can actually like do them pretty quick. Like if you don't listen to what the narrator says, you can get through pretty quick in these.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
All right, let's just do what we're told.
the door on his left.
This is such a wonderful game. If you haven't played this game, I highly suggest it. There's so many endings. Some of them are actually quite difficult to obtain. Some of them are really bizarre.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Boss's office? Boss's office. What's this say? Executive bathroom. Ooh. Oh, I can't go into the executive bathroom. Nope, not in there. The boss's room.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Newly opened passageway. Oh, there. Here we go. So the Stanley's a game of just oddities as well. There's lots of stuff like this where it's just like, if you like pushing buttons, if you just like exploring bizarre mental landscapes, this game will put them on you. There's actually very few transitional periods, so this is interesting. We're actually getting a loading screen. I don't know. Feels like it's loading way worse than it used to. I don't know what's going on.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
Yeah.
Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
Yeah.
This question would not go unanswered for long.
Yeah. Ooh. That load, it feels like that Half-Life load sequence. I think it probably still is built on the Half-Life engine.
Red mind control facility.
Go to the mind control facility. See, like I said, there's heaps of different endings, so we could have gone that other path and got a different ending. What's that? Oh.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Still being led along. Not gonna break the mold this time.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives
I really like, I've talked about it in my Animal Crossing streams, but I really do like rooms of just monitors.
where freedom meant nothing.
Very cool. Very Matrix-y.
This mind
Look, one person got fired.
It was too horrible to believe.
That person got fired too.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I don't remember the game skipping so hard. It feels like this. It's just No.
No.
Really doing it today.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Oh, new room.
Here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yeah. Fuck the system. How do we destroy it though? Big red button. I can't press the big red button. But there is a puzzle element to this game. Like, there's like weird different endings, different things you need to interact with, all that sort of stuff. There's like codes. Some things that you need to sort of... it's very meta, this game. Oh, what's this? Control disabled. Yeah, so... There's a door. What's in the door? Locked door. Yeah, so if you're the type of person who likes to explore video games and explore some of the meta stuff in terms of like looking at files to the actual game, if you like to look into like communities that have found out stuff, like everything's pretty much been discovered with this game. 0142. Yeah, this might be the game for you. I really like that stuff. I really like this game. I think it's so wonderful.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Yeah. Off. We dead? Think we're dead?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's
God?
command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Yeah.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into...
I do like that they tease their own little universe where it's sort of like...
For it was not knowledge
There's all this stuff. You did the simple ending, go do all the crazy other endings.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
We're free. This is the only time I think you see the outside world properly in Stanley.
The immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah, that's the best ending. We get happy Stanley. Then again, I think at most endings, Stanley is happy. But yeah, apart from the one where we got before where we died. But yeah, this game has a huge amount of endings. I really, really love this game. you can kind of approach it your own way. Like, if you wanted, you can just like brute force try and do as many puzzles as you can. But there's so much complex stuff that you probably will have to take to the internet and see how other people approach some of the puzzles. Look at communities, look at files. Like, I'm not going to do those very complicated ones, probably, because I'm only going to show off this for like half an hour or so. We'll try and do one very quick ending again. But yeah, so it's like that. You can tell with that room we got up to that we could have pushed the on button rather than the off button. We could have gone to the other area. We could have escaped. We could have pressed a whole heap of other buttons. There's just so much to do.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
So the first question we got is left or right, and we've defied it already. So that's like, this is the ultimate defiance one.
Truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate...
I don't even think we can go back. Can we go back? We can't go back.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
How's the bit rate? Does it look alright? Considering, I think this might be the first-person game we've played. Oh, it's this room. I remember this.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I love the narrator just insulting you all the time. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it's in motion. It will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000. Oh, it's moving.
Perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Oh.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Is it me?
Someone you've forgotten about. Please. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Yes.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why?
Yes.
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you. To show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm...
Danger is everywhere.
Give me a chance.
Danger's everywhere. I've stopped listening now. I'm in full control. I will escape. Oh.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Blue door. Blue door.
Perhaps you misunderstood.
Blue door.
Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly.
Stop it.
Stanley walked
Blue door.
through the red... All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You know so badly what's out there. You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Yeah.
You see, there's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Yes.
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yes.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have...
I like this meta. Like I said, there's a lot of meta stuff. Like, this is referring to just texture work in video games. It's missing textures.
With me, you've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh.
A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
What? Oh.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be real critical feedback here.
No. It's terrible.
A 1?
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Yeah. Oh. Hello? Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. There's a leaderboard now. Wait, I think these are real players. I think they may have been real players. Yeah, that's me. Like I said, this game has a lot going for it. Some endings are just bonkers crazy, and some are just very simple. Yeah. We go. Which door do we go through? Do you want to go? We'll go through the second one. We went through the first one before. Let's go through this one. I think they all roads lead to Rome, though.
Would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
No.
Again,
No.
honest answers, please.
No. Oh.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of the new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some play testing. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Oh, now we're playing a new game now. No more Stanley, only game now. Oh.
The baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you
Hardboard baby.
for about 4 hours.
Hardboard
So
baby.
you give it 4 hours of play.
Look how big that baby looks now. Giant baby.
On your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
Probably the latter.
Well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Well,
Yes.
Okay, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Did we win? Oh.
Is this any better? At last, the one thing
I forgot about this.
a game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you.
Does it look familiar?
From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then...
Have you ever played a
See, what does it need? Yes. of
crafting
course.
game?
Finish it all off. Yes. It's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own.
I can't actually move, by the way. I can't. I'm trapped in this
But you
box.
haven't seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Oh, we're playing Minecraft now. Apparently, we're playing Minecraft now. All right, we're gonna go mining.
It looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
I forgot. I ended up in an ending that I completely forgot about. I can't believe how much is recreated of Minecraft here.
No. This This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and
Oh.
linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
No, not new game. I wanted to go fight the zombie. What new game am I begin now? Oh, wow, this is a familiar one as well.
Yes, I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
Oh, it is definitely within the Half-Life engine.
Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Well, we don't have the portal gun, so I don't know how this is going to work.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
We're just gonna play Portal now.
Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty.
No.
I really don't care much to see you stumble.
Oh, we're here now. Oh, what? Well, we got a very particular ending that I really, really like in this game. And this sort of exemplifies just how weird this game can get. There's just like broken textures everywhere. Huh? Hello? 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 It's a perfect time for the sun to come out when the game is super dark and I can't see what's going on. This is a pretty long ending. I was trying to do the quick and defiance ending, and we ended up getting the super defiance ending, I think. Ooh, light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, room. My old room. No, this is a different room again. What is this? Hello? Hello? Oh.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Ominous. Yay! I really like that ending. But yeah, I think that was the ending of that one. We should be hopefully back in the office. We're back in the office. Oh look, the corridor has changed. Have you noticed that? Stanley's office, but it's different. Yeah, alright, we'll stop Stanley Parable there. I really like that game. If you enjoyed at least one of the endings, you should get this game, check it out. It's on Steam. There's a lot of different endings, and like I said, you can be very explorative with it. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna switch over to another game. Hopefully I can get another one working. If I can't, then woe is me, and we might have to go back and play a different game. But yeah. I will quickly swap back over to the chat. And that was Stanley Parable.